Obviously, this fight has a different flavor because, yeah, I lost against him and twice in the past with, thousands and thousands of people, in the T-Mobile Arena. Man, not just beat Pantoja, not just because he beat me in the past. It's beat this guy to keep building your legacy.
Brandon, the Assassin Baby Moreno!
Brandon Moreno, welcome back to BT Sport. How are you? You good?
Fine, man. Thank you so much. Just enjoying my diet, enjoying fight week, and I'm just happy to talk with you, man.
I like that. Enjoying the diet. There's not many fighters on a fight week when you're trying to get down to a certain weight that are enjoying it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's kind of hard, because maybe your energy is not the best. My body's been changing too much in the last couple of years. In this point, I have like 2 months in a really disciplined diet.
Yes.
So my energy in the last couple of weeks started to go decrease a little bit, but at the same time, I have the kind of the experience to know what is coming. So I feel amazing.
How have you changed training, diet, all those types of things over the last few years as you've matured, as you're now obviously right at the top level?
Yeah, I mean, for example, starting from my body. I was making jokes about it, like, hey, I miss those years when I was walking around 140, 142, making weight very easy, no diet at all. And now, man, I can't. If I eat bad in 1 week before fight week,
yeah.
and I can't make weight. So starting from that, but it's a good problem, because in the moment when you make weight and go to the fight, you feel strong. You have the enough weight to put pressure on your opponents. So starting from that, and mention training and all that stuff. I'm just trying to be very positive, man. I'm just trying to enjoy what I love, because and now I'm just trying to be focused and always trying to remember why I'm starting this sport and what's for love.
Well, let's talk about that right at the start. We'll go right to the start, because there was a time when maybe studying, becoming a lawyer, going into law and all those types of things could have been a real reality thing, but you decided, nah, man, I'm going to go down. How was the conversations with family, parents? Listen, yeah, I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and be an MMA guy.
Oh, man. So starting from, my family, my parents, very traditional in that aspect. I mean, not crazy traditional, but I mean, those years when the normal was like go to school,
yes.
finish a career,
yes.
And then just start to go forward in this sport, and they start to know like, maybe I can do something in this, because I started this sport just for love, and I started trying to enjoy practices and wherever, start to do sparring and roll in jiu-jitsu and whatever. Then I start to go to the school with all the energy, like, I don't like this place, I don't like the professor, I don't like to spend time here, I prefer to go to the gym, and that's it. But yes, in some point I talked with my parents, like, man, you know what, I want to be an MMA fighter, And I remember that conversation with my mom, and she just asked me, like, are you sure, like, I don't know, like, and I understand, because at the end of the day, they just want the best for you.
Yeah.
But my mom just told me, like, hey, just please finish high school. Just finish high school, and then you can decide. And I did it. I finished high school. High school. Then UFC called me for the developer program in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in 2013, December 2013. I went there to New Mexico. And after that program, I came back to my home, and I said, like, no college, no nothing. I put everything for this sport. I put everything for this dream. And thanks God, life, destiny, whatever you want to call it, I did it. Because, with the pass of the time, you can see another fighters who doesn't have the same good history like me.
Well, you've made the conversation for little boys and girls of today a little easier, you, Alexa, and Yair, of course, to be able for them to go to their parents and say, I want to be like this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
because there was nobody, with all due respect, if your parents would have gone, who you're going to be like as a Mexican MMA fighter when you were little,
Yeah, but
You're the guy now.
yes, and also when I started to do this sport, I mean, what I started at 12 years old in 2006.
Yeah.
In that moment in Mexico, you can like find like any channel or any like program who you can watch UFC or Pride or whatever, you know. The only way you can find that was like in YouTube, like watching highlights of, you know, Jose Aldo, Raya Faber, Dominic Cruz, all these guys, and yeah, you don't have like any reference, right? If I tell my parents like, yeah, I want to be a boxer, like, oh, okay, I like
Chavez,
like Chavez, like Morales, like Barrera, like okay, but yeah, I never made like anyone. So yeah, it was kind of hard, but they always support me every single time.
Does it make you feel proud now that you are that guy that have paved the way for future Mexican fighters to come through the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know. And I was still the same. I'm not a pioneer, because pioneer for me means other guys like Goyito Perez, like Efrain Escudero, like Cain Velasquez, even Akbar Arriola. Those guys are the pioneers of the sport. For me, I just keep doing the best for my country, for the next generations, and obviously I just show to the world like, hey, we can be champions.
And now look.
I mean, we can do it. You know, we need to work hard. We need to do a lot of sacrifice. It's not easy, but if you really want this, you can do it. Just take advantage of your best moments and just keep working hard.
Well, with that in mind, does it get difficult then? Because obviously you came into the UFC, and I want to talk about that promise that you made, that speech where you said, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I will be champion. But the 2 fights after that,
I lost.
you suffered defeat and then end up being cut from the UFC. What's that like when you're back home? People have seen you do the speech, man. You've said the thing, and now you're no longer in the UFC. What's that like for you to be able to deal with people's comments on that and negativity, no doubt?
I mean, and actually, it's funny because I think that speech is bigger than me. I mean, much bigger than me. I can see a lot of influencers, like famous influencers, using that sound in, I don't know, in TikTok and different videos. But I know the guy doesn't know even who is Brandon Moreno. But that speech is famous than me. But do you know what is the special of that speech, man? Like, I did it because I really believe it, okay? And just saying that is like whatever, but trying to magnify all the significance of that speech is the most important thing. Because I won my fight against Dustin Ortiz in Nashville, Tennessee, in that fight, and then I say that, and the people was like, yeah, whatever, yeah, this little kid saying that, like, because, and I understand, because a lot of fighters say the same, and maybe they don't get the bell or whatever. But man, I did it. But I mean, the fact to do that and making a statement, because the people was thinking like, whatever, this kid saying that. But in my mind was like, man, I mean, I'm not lying. I don't know if tomorrow, I don't know if the next month or next year, but I will.
Even when you were cut, even losing the next 2 fights, and then was that belief, did it still stay?
So when when UFC released me from the company, I think the first month was very hard for me. You know, all these negative thoughts come to your mind, like, maybe that's it. Maybe you are not enough for the sport. Maybe my career will be over now. But then I got a lot of support from my family. You know, from my loved ones, for my wife, for my daughters, for my parents, my training partners, and my coaches in that moment. And then I start to fight in that battlefield of my mind, and I say like, hey man, just keep going. You know, just keep going. And I was very focused on the present. I was very focused in every day to go to the gym, wake up early, drink my coffee, and go to the practice, and that's it.
And we find ourselves in a situation this weekend with Alexandre, where you've been in there with him previously, but also that was the last fight before the release. Lots of significant moments have led us to this particular fight on Saturday.
Yeah, of course. And first of all, I mean, because other guys ask him like, hey, you feel like he's the responsible of your fail before, blah, 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 blah. And to me it was like, hey, I mean, if you want to take this as an advice, do it. You need to be responsible of your actions, and you need to be responsible of all your things, you know. So he beat me. I mean, it's not his fault. It was part of his job to beat me, you know, to feed his family, to keep doing the right thing for his career. So man, I accept that fight, you know, that fight, and I failed, and it is what it is. That was my responsibility. So I passed the patient in that moment. Obviously, this fight has a different flavor because, yeah, I lost against him and twice in the past. So if I think in all the picture, like, hey, win this fight in International Fight Week against Alexandre Pantoja with, you know, thousands and thousands of people, you know, in the T-Mobile Arena, man. So that's my goal right now. Not just beat Pantoja, not just because he beat me in the past. It's beat this guy to keep building your legacy.
Does that confidence come from knowing in the back of your mind that he hasn't fought this version of Brandon Moreno? He fought a different version of the guy.
Yeah, and I don't want to just use those words like, no, I'm a different fighter, I'm a different fighter. I don't even say nothing. I don't even need to say nothing. The people can see it, you know. I mean, before and after, you know, Brandon Moreno, when he fought against Alexandre Pantoja in 2018, it's a whole different Brandon Moreno, and the people can see it. Not just the technical part, you know, my footwork, my hands, my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu, just the mental part, you know. Brandon Moreno with really a hungry of success, like with more decision in the moment when he stepped in the octagon.
Is the dream of being the champion is one thing, dreaming about it as a young guy and wanting it and the speech and all these things. What's the reality like?
The reality? Man, I mean, I can see in this sport, like, a lot of people love, like, fame. But to me, it's not like that, you know? It's like, you know, the cameras, when everything starts, it's very cool. Like, oh, watch all the cameras, the interviews, the one-on-one. Man, this in video looks amazing, you know? But at the end, it's not the fame, and the fame is, like, crazy. I mean, I miss those days when I was able to go to the street with my daughters and just buy an ice cream with them, and that's it. Now I can't. For example, if I go to my hometown, if I go to Tijuana, I can't walk in the streets normally, you know. And I miss kind of those moments. At the same time, I'm very grateful with the life, you know, with God, with life, with destiny, whatever you want to call, because I'm changing my life for well, you know, and I'm changing my life for my daughters, for my wife, for my daughters, and at the end, I'm working for that. You know, this dream, I always say the same. This dream is bigger than me. This is not just for me. This dream will just for me. I maybe finished like a few years before. Now I'm here fighting for them.
What do they think? What do your little girls think of what you do, and obviously the reaction that you see when you're in and around Tijuana?
So yeah, I mean, not just Tijuana. I mean, even here in Vegas, even when we go to some public place, you know, to the mall or whatever. So my youngest, Almomiro daughter, they still don't understand because they are very young. Yeah. My other daughter, she's 9, so she understands everything now.
She knows what daddy does.
Exactly. Now she has started to understand. We are here in Vegas, the people who doesn't know, I almost 3 years living here in the city. So I was yesterday able to go to the hotel and do the check-in. And sign the posters, and I bring my daughter with me, and she actually signed the last poster. Hey, actually, I wanna maybe make an offer for that posters if somebody have it. But well, yeah, she started to understand, and she love it. She love it. Sometimes kind of weird for her, like I wanna just go straight to the store and buy something and don't stop with the people to ask for a picture. But it's nice. She understand. What type of fight are you expecting on Saturday night? That's a nice question. I'm expecting the best version of Alexandre Pantoja. I know he's motivated. I know he's hungry. In comparison with, I don't know, Davison Figueiredo, my last opponent, I can see in himself, he was kind of like tired to fight with me, like 4 times in a row. He was like, oh, I don't want to fight against this guy anymore, you know. And I take that as an advantage. This time, I know I don't have that advantage. He's hungry, and he won my head, and he won my title, and you know he's kind of maybe a little bit frustrated because hey, this guy is the champion, and I beat him in the past. What happened, you know? So he's ready for me, but I prepare myself for that scenario. So I'm ready for a war if necessary. I don't think I'm going to the 4th or 5th round. I know I can finish Alexandre Pantoja, but I'm preparing for everything.
Brandon, we can't wait to watch it.
Thank
Go
you.
well, enjoy weight, safe cut.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you so much, man.